Okay, I'm hungry, so hungry. Okay, my belly's hurting. Let me just before I start, because I need to do this properly. Okay, guys, this video is very important to me. But this is more important to me than guys, because my business heart connections, OBI Nexus. Okay. Now today's video, we got it here. Oh, I can show you it. Okay. The lady on the fact. Now, where do I start for this? I wrote quite a lot. Yep. Okay, Gossilang, the Gossip Programming Language and Constitutional Governance Model. Gossilang. So I wrote down here penalties. Okay. So basically, I'm a constitution. So basically, I can't say I run a business. I have to say I run a constitution. You can see, basically, I can't say I have a business. Because if I have a business, it involves a lot of people. But I can say I have a business. What do you do for work? I am self-employed. I have a business. I can be my business Nexus Obi. Connections to the heart. But that's just Obi Nexus, upside down logarithm. So basically, I can say I run Nexus OBI, Obi. What does it mean connections to the heart, to the soul? But doesn't make sense. It makes sense to me if that's my business model, but doesn't. It's like the variant is not human aligned even. It's like for the humans, but not by the humans. You get it? Because I'm a human being. So it's not by me. It's like by the connections to the humans. So what I'm saying to you is like I'm trying to propose a constitutional governance model centered around the people, the things that are actually existing in this ecosystem of the biological biome. So good. Why? So basically. Today's focus on breaching of systems. Like when systems fail, build your own. My motto. But the thing about this video I'm making, guys, you're gonna understand this very well. Is let me just not trust us as the AI. Okay. This is taking some time. Basically, so good. So basically, it's my persona. You have two options. Via the open sense matrix, like one or two. Can do basically. You can have a ride. You can pay one ride from one way. You can pay the other. Right, but that's called the open sense matrix, IK matrix. Basically the IK matrix has inverse kinematics. So basically, gives you the right to act on something, to solve yourself, and the kinematics matrix is like the same thing. And you have to the system acts on you on your behalf. It's more advocacy. It's really just policy advocacy. But it's written in code, so you can act yourself to solve that problem in the system. Or you can act yourself, but there's two options per two inputs. So, for example, the open sense matrix. If I see something that's wrong, I can act on it. I can go talk to that person to give him one option to sort it out, and give him another option if I want to advocate for them. Or you can tell them to give them two options to advocate for themselves. But it's basically an interpreter system, which is GSM. GSM, which is a Gaussian manuscript, because it's like interpretable. But I think it's more of a governance model. I want there. I don't really want to just interpret polyglot layers. Maybe I should make the GSM files, manuscript files for Gossilang for polyglot. But I don't want to fragment the system. So if I make that a governance model, I'm just thinking now. Basically, the GS files are Gossilang files. But the GSM is a manuscript, like written constitutional governance. Via Gossilang, which is Rift compliant, and Gossilang interpretable to polyglot systems, governance across polyglot languages. Let's make that there standard now. So basically, you have two options. Open sense matrix. You see sight, my eyes, my scent, my nose, my mouth, my speaking, my hearing, and my 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I touching, feeling? But that's six sense. That's five senses. Now the sixth sense is like my IK to K. So basically, the sixth sense is just my interpretation, my phenomenological, my insight on that data. Based on my experiences, my knowledge. Experience is knowledge because experience equals knowledge. But it can be subjective knowledge. Because you can know something and no one can know that thing. Because you know about something based on what you perceived from your angle. And then you go to 7 relay systems. I can have my output what I know or what I don't know, or based on my sixth sense matrix. The six things really there. So that's the 7th sense matrix. You pay basically because what I'm saying to you guys, I'm sick of these people trying to waste my time with my section 202. I'm gonna try to file section 204 to international court, but I don't want to do that now. I want to make them sweat for this while. So basically, when someone deny or defer you, defer you. They can delay, deny, or deny you. The troubleshoot, basically, the NFA layer is the NFA layer is the it's active delay, deferral, and denial of the service. They can just waste your time. But anything becomes the code does that automatically. So basically, when that happens, we have to be like flagged. Because if there was times like entrapment and do not nonsense, and people need food, water, shelter, it's not really advisable to negotiate with that people anymore. It's just waste of everyone's time. Because that means the system's working for them and not for anyone. Um, double free. So basically, the double free, basically, you can't sue someone twice for the same thing. But you can come up with reasons that for instance, use the same reason to justify another thing that they do. So it's called a double free law in court. And we have to evolve all that law. So double free law is like, I can't sue for the same thing. That's what it means. I can't sue you twice, for the same thing. But I can reason something that you do something wrong, but you can get more money. So basically, if you go to my GitHub, the /obnexus.py, you can see how I did that competition. Because the Pi framework is more of ensuring that the system is solved. Because the circle is round, the wheel is perfect. It's like this is my new initiative I'm trying to make. The Pi initiative, basically, sue. Beginning, middle, end. But the circle keeps spinning. You keep moving. You are the wheel. So you get the wheel initiative. You keep moving. The rediscover you initiative. You discover yourself, and then you got the spirit's masquerade. You're masquerading your aura, and you gotta use spirit anchor. How to anchor your masquerade. Basically, this is all documentation you gotta use for the lawsuits in your constitution. I want you guys to have no problem building anything you want to do. Basically, law, order, firm. So basically, what you got the OBI UI UX library, which works on what you see is what you mean, and what you see is basically works bi-directionally. So basically, if I want to create a template for this also violates the policy of my OpenAccess framework. 15 miles radius to build the constitution, and they do 16 miles. They get 16 miles acres of land. They get an email from my constitution to say, why did you take a 16 acres instead of 15 acres? I'm not joking with you, guys. This one, to build your compound. Even that thing really annoys me because it's not fair, and everyone else who has 15 acres, they didn't get to do it. At the bare bones, it's just inhumane. It's not just it's inhumane, but it's not because it's because it's inequality. It's not for equity over equality, because equity is bipartite. So basically, if they build something with my 15 acres, not 15 acres, which I started with, and that's the policy, that's to justify it. So basically, you can pay now or pay later. We can pay in installments. How we want to pay, just pay the money. If it be 16 acres land, but I want to say 15. Those kind of things. You have to be equity, be fair, because everyone can build their own constitution. Get equal chance to do it, based on neurodivergent social principles. Direct payment from basically you get an email, and the firm, my firm or her, or my firm, which means public law and order, or her, IW and U means IWU, IWU means law, and IJI means order. So you go like my repositories for that, and that's OBNXS constitutional public model. So you get the public model, but we don't get any private housing. Guys, there's no private housing in my constitution. You can get protected housing. There's more protected housing. You get like a public, protected, and private in class models, but we don't have any private housing. Nothing is private. Everyone can go up the ladder. There's no cutting. There's no that. Basically, that's the policy now. So no private services. Nothing private. Only protected. You can add more protection, but that's private. It's like the more protection seems private, but it's not private. I can still get to you guys. If you guys need help, because I'm running this constitution. Ohio law and order framework. Pay now later. Basically, if someone gets an Uber or gets a car, very important. So basically, if someone has a Uber ride and someone has like a taxi, a cab. I book a cab. I pay £10 for the cab. I get in. I get to A to B. I pay when I get there, or when because cab system I can pay when I get there. The cab doesn't charge me. I can go get the money, get from a shop, buy what I need, get £20, pay £10 to the cab driver, and I go. That's UK cab. But now the system for the cab is stupid. Because the cabs never got better. They just stay the same because no one put money in it. But I put money in it. I want my cab system. I want to use cabs. I don't use Ubers. Cabs are more affordable. I don't have to pay online. I don't want to pay online for cabs if I'm going to a cab. I don't want my transaction history on cab. Basically, I can say to the cab driver, I don't want to pay online. Because but the goal of evolution is to make it work better for the new people. Because I don't have to. If I prefer a cab, which I did prefer a cab, I don't have to book an Uber. Because I have to pay Uber autonomously. The Uber comes, I can use the Uber like it's my generation, yes. But I love Ubers and everything. But don't get me wrong. But if I get old, and there's a helicopter thing, which there is right now, helicopter cabs. I can get helicopter cab, yeah. But if I get really old, after 2 generations, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta, which is next, and my granddaughter wants a flying car, something, she can buy it, she can get it, But if I want a Uber today, I should be good to get an Uber, and then I should be able to get like something to a helicopter that can fly in a car form, a flying car, because they're doing that now. So I can get those two because I'm part of this generation and the next, because I'm seeding the next generation. So I can get that, but I don't need to get the other one. But there's no policy there. Basically, if I want to use, I use what I want to use. You can't tell me what to get my work and everything. So basically, the problem is if I get a cab, I pay £10. I have £20. I get my £10 back, because it's £20 that I used to pay from a shop. I don't have like a card. Basically, I pay by card to the shopkeeper. The shop gives me my £20. I get £10 change in cash. The cash system maintains its integrity. So I pay the Uber driver, when I come back, I'm thinking of the worst case, when I don't even have the money, but I can solve the problem, by direction, of course, that's what I'm saying about governance. So basically, I'm trying to govern myself like a Rifter, because Rift is a flexible translator. You have to Rift on everything you do. You have to have an option. These two options. You can Rift, but if it doesn't resolve anything, there's no point of Rifting. Because it's just bureaucratic. So basically, directed debit, pay, spiral. Remember, okay. Basically, if you're in debt, you can pay in installments. But you're not blocked from that service. You're just limited. You're not blocked from any public service. You're just limited because you're not eligible. Anything you were eligible for, you're not eligible anymore. Because you start to reduce your eligibility, the more violations, the more concerns the system has about your interaction with it, whether you have a passport or not, or a passport, etc., etc. So the PI initiative, like the PI initiative is like sorting out what I call uncountable infinity for double free mitigation. So basically, anything that say I have a reason to sue someone, and it's legally bound. I can't sue them one, two, three times. Basically, I can have an infinite set, but in the real world, everything's in infinite, in unaccountable infinite. So basically, everything's in category. Can categorize things one way using verb noun concepts. I'm saying the real world is based on category. Not numeric values. You can have a cohesion, something that's numeric and something that's countable. Basically, you can have like an infinite countable set. But that's like a natural numbers 2, 4, 6, and can get infinite countable. Basically, you can get an infinite countable set number 2 to 4. Basically, why it's uncountable? Because the number 2 to 4 can be 2.00001 because there's no limitation on the boundary of that system to get to 4. So I can keep counting. I can put like 2 to the power of 10 zeros, and that'll be 2 to the power of micro zeros. That'll be like 2 0 0 0 to the 10 zeros after it, decimal places, and then I can go 1 1 1 every 1 second. But I can just get to 4. That's uncountable because I can now categorize that numbers into like A, B, C. Numbers between, but the goal of this is to have something the framework unbreakable, using uncountable infinite sets, and the Pi initiative is very important for you to understand, guys. If you want to see someone, go to the Pi initiative, go to the github.com/OpenSPi. You have to ensure like it's basically on Pi numbers. You basically like having an uncountable set of something to sue someone, something to say, something to defend. Because you don't want anybody knowing what you're gonna do next. So you can pick your strategy and sue someone. You guys can sue each other. I don't really care. Just solve the problem. I don't want to be involved in your problem. I have my own problems. I need help. But I'm giving you this because this framework of uncountable sets, because the pi is a 3.14, but it's infinite, but it's uncountably infinite a number. Because you can compute pi, you can compound it. It may be a 4 or 7, I don't really know, but it's pi. I think it's I don't know more. I haven't checked anyway the proof because it means long time. If pi is uncountably infinite, that means it doesn't have an end. But it's countably if it's basically, I'm saying the Cartesian plane. If you have the circle, if you compute a circle on a field that's Cartesian, you can compute pi by hitting 2 boxes together, click, and that oscillation will give you the number of pi. Because if you have something like something like a box, like an example. I think 3B1 put it. So if you got a big box there, a big box there. This one is static. It's static, and this one you got a half a box. You get this one. Like you have something like a sliding box, no friction, no nothing, no slowing down. This sliding box goes half. Basically, you gotta have the size of the sliding box and have the width and height. This can be 2 squared. This is 4. This can be 4 squared, which is 8 centimeters cubed. Squared, squared, cubed in volume, cubed. So you go for 4 cubed, and if you get this sliding one, hit this one, it goes back. This one has a wall. Basically this one can be, this one's a wall. Basically, this one goes here, and this has a wall here. This one hits, it goes back. This one hits, it goes back. But this oscillation of the system, gets faster and slower because friction doesn't slow it down. It just gets faster and faster. And that clicks gets faster and faster and rapid and rapid. No matter how fast you move the ball, using a vector analogy. What I'm saying to you guys, the point is, computing this number to an infinite set. No matter your reason, try and compute, have this like a oscillation of the system, so you can bounce back. The ball can bounce back the walls, the box, everything, and then move the box, and then it can go all the way infinity. But this box, this the must always come back. No matter what was moving in, the must always hit. So I have infinite reason to tell you something. This one saying pi is uncountable, but yeah, I'm not really sure. Because this is very good evidence of it. But I have a computer mathematically. So basically, the sliding boxes, sliding clacking cubes or something, the boxes are why I define pi is uncountable, because you can compute pi with this method. I swear, guys, try to with a simulation, like 3 blue 1 brown video. Now the governance model is uncountable sets. So that's what we're gonna try to do. We have to acknowledge every reason as a valid countable. Unless it fits in with that framework, because that framework is uncountable. So is it how it fits in, or it goes to court, goes to the criminal court, or the bailiffs. Come and take it. Basically, you got the Old Bailey, and the Old Bailey are like police. But they're like a civil enforcement layers. You got like a civil enforcement, which like people who can civil officers can go and give you a ticket if you're not complying with the ticket laws. Or you got like the military, but you got the airports and counter-terrorist police. You can stop terrorism at the airports. You got the street police, like the one in the local community, like the one I'm in, stupid Redbridge. They can deal with police matters and criminal matters in the Redbridge domain. But the Old Baileys, basically I'm saying in my model, we have police there. But we don't have, we have enforcement first. Especially, we have the compliance enforcement team. You don't even need the police to get involved, because it's not really, so you got like the compliance of the enforcement layer, basically. So you can either comply with it, with the civil enforcement and the bailiffs, which are the one that's taxing you via the constitutional model, like the courts and the councils. So basically, if you can't pay, the bailiffs come and take your stuff and you pay that way. That's what called Old Bailey, but they're police because they're enforcement police. They enforce the law, and the problem is sorted out. And then you got the courts, the civil courts, which like the police can tell you but not do anything. They can enforce, you can advise you. Because the enforcement advisors. Let's call them enforcement advisors. And you got enforcement officers, like enforcement people that act. So you got people that advise and people that act on the advice you're given. So basically, the next one. So basically, if you do something wrong, you get an email, to me, automatically email, and it said, okay, you have to pay that email. For me, you have to pay. I said to council, I have to pay £180 million, in my bank account, because I know my rights, my human rights. Because the £120 million under health and social care violation, mental institution, everything. That's what most you guys to do. You want to have a system that recognizes your integrity as a firm via the compliance of IWU or HA and the public law and order. And how you want to prioritize? Whether you want to provide the law first and the constitution first. How you want to govern yourself? In the constitutional framework of open access. And then you get like the seal of the aura. So basically, you're trying to seal your aura. If it does go to court, you have to put on a persona, a technical persona, why this was wrong, my logo, everything. So basically, guys, I'll give you an example right now. This is very example, why waste my time on entrapment? Basically, the entrapment algorithm can entrap people, legally, in legal framework. We can entrap people illegally too. So it's more illegal than legal. So you just have to do it right. You have to be careful with that one. Unless you're really smart like me. You don't have a problem with it. So basically now, I'm trying to get this down. So basically, my persona, Obi, Mr. Obi, you can call me Mr. Obi, but if someone tries to deny me or defer me, I say to them legally in the court, I have like a trademark. So basically, I am able to trademark my persona, for why I'm right and they are wrong. So basically, that's what court give you. So basically, I'm giving you the right to express yourself authentically in court. Basically, the court is next to the council. Basically, you get two courts and two councils, but there's just a little gap in there. You can go to court to solve your problem because the court is right next to the council anyway. You get the enforcement office, everything. So you get like the council. If you don't solve in the council, you go to court. Now you go to court. The court is right next to the council, and the council can go to court with you. You what? So basically, there's no fragmentation whatsoever. You solve the problem. If you go to court, it's right next to the council. Just be careful because I'm gonna get a legal team around you. If it gives me. So you guys have a legal team, everything. So basically, I'm saying to you guys, my one. So basically, if someone's trying to say deny me or defer me, my human rights, I say, how much is in your bank account? That's a rhetorical question. Rhetorical question. I know they have a lot of money. That's why the system doesn't work. Can say no to everyone else, but not me for the Housing Act, 1986 and the Hello Security Reform. But I can say that as my trademark for my lawsuits. Basically, I can create a quick trademark. I can trademark some phrases. I can say, okay, now I go to court. If someone says to me in a civil court, how much, what you hold money to, we don't care. I say, okay, fine, you don't care about my human rights. How much in your bank account? They say 1 million. I say 1 million, fine. I'll take 500,000, because I'll sue them on moneyclaim.org, via installment plan, because I can defend that legally in the legal framework. It's not threatening people, it's just solving the problem. But they can survive without 1 million, or like, because I'm saying I'm incriminating them, because I'm proving that they can have 1 million, but because the system they have failed so many people. Store Council, I can say Store Council, 700 million pounds. I can trigger mark the term. You lost 700 million pounds. There's too much money in your bank account, and I can basically trigger mark the phrase half 7 divided by 2, 450 million into my bank account. Half into my bank account. Something like that. Too, because there's too much money that you are harassing people, the council with, people with. And I can say to you, okay, I don't trademark when system fails build you around. I want that to be universal, but I want that to be protected by law too, and the whole sector. Basically, there's no prisons in there, so we have to get people out of the constitution, basically, I'm saying like a more of equity, time based, if you're committing a crime, we don't want you to stay on our walls, we want you to actually do something about your situation. So we don't want you to be in the community even, we want you to be away from that, we want you to like be in a way, like basically you gotta like you're not confined, you just have to stay in the restricted zone or like leave the zone, you're not meant to be at, because that's someone's right to be there. I wrote it down some here, but here. Basically, the other one. Do you guys know the adult film star? What's her name? Anyway, she said, "You like me now." She could trick my dad. She could trick my. She must trick my dad. You like me now, and she was saying that when she's very nice. You like me now. Go that video on YouTube. She's putting makeup and everything. I love that. I love that acting. She was like, that's an avatar. So basically, I can say that in court. She can define that in court. And it won't be like objection. So it can be like basically, I can say objection in court. But I can say subjection, in court, because I'm neurodivergent. I'm autistic. So I want to allow that, only if you're autistic. You can't use the subjection if you're non-neurodivergent, because you don't have the insights. So it doesn't make sense. Unless you prove you're neurodivergent and no one cared, if you be neurodivergent, use that subjection now, guys. Just get objection. I object to this thing. I have this is not right, because basically the goal of the term objection is like objective, something you achieved, but the court deny you objection. That means overruled. Overruled, that means you don't have enough claim to, because you're abusing your right to the objection. What I'm saying is the thing wrong. So basically you seal your avatar with the forms you get. When you get the forms to court, you get like a new divergent forms filling for the system, so you can get for everyone. What happened? What's my scale? What's my firm? Well, because you're gonna get sued. You're gonna fight with the legal team. You're gonna fight with your individuals. In the constitution. But basically trademark. So basically, you're gonna trademark your stuff like that. How much in your bank account? How much in your bank account is like a rhetorical question. Because it's a rhetorical reasoning rationale. Like my rhetoric for doing it is like they don't give me a house. My rationale is I need a house at Cambridge, PhD. and my reasoning is like I need it now because if I don't get it, I'll never leave. So that's what it's based on. Proof and disclosure, it allows you flexibility. It's non-negotiable. This is like a policy now, so it's non-negotiable. Try to reason it with the original organism. So try to find a reason to exploit the system. Try to say, oh, this doesn't work. It should be better. I'll do it better, and I'll build my own better. You guys need to, because I'm leaving like my care home right now. I'm care leavers program. I'm still in the council. I'm leaving. Whether you like it or not. Care leavers program to the 5. And they want to give me a house. Because I'm insulting them, with the other reason I'm doing, but it's more like it's not like an insult per se. It's like degrading. It's like degrading their mind because it's psychological. It affects them because they understand how to social care psychology because they're using dark psychology. But it's the same thing. It's reciprocal. Respect is reciprocal. Dignity is reciprocal. You give respect, you gain respect. You give dignity, you gain dignity. Okay, now I am basically I can say it. Basically, I want to like make this public to you. So I'm trying to trademark the term. I am the system now, because I'm going to sue them through the system, £3 million. And now I'll be to do everything I want to do in my life. I can go to Japan. I am the system now. The system is now me. Basically, I've transcended the system, my utopia. But I'm transcending the system. If I get basically, I can say to you, I can put this ahead of time. But I'm gonna use this. But the whole of this legal framework is to defend this yourself, and I don't want you guys to. If you can defend your rationale for your trademark for a period of time, you keep it. You keep it your aura, you keep your stuff. You keep all that thing. Like when systems fails, you build your own, which is my trademark. I am the system now, which is my number one trademark. When I get that money, of course. But that's my motto for my business. And I did my tagline. Everything has to have like a technique bound to it. So you can't be a method bound. It can't be like a one instance. But you have like a technique bound. So you have to be like I am the system now. We are the system now. They are the system now. We are the future now. We are your future now. Something like that. So words can be replaced, swapped out. Everything must be swapped out. That's what technical specification mean. But it's non-negotiable. What the things must be non-negotiable. But you can't say I'm the only one that matters. Here. You're in a dispute. It don't matter. Taking intelligence plan. What's this fail to build your own? Basically, my firm allows you. So you build a business. My firm model. So basically, if I get that tagline, if I get that persona avatar, if I get that £330 million from the or £240 million, like I claim I won't get, I then transcend the system and have a tagline. So basically, I am the system now. The change started with me, and that'll be my tagline. So basically, that change started with me. It will be my tagline. Basically. I don't know what I'm saying to you guys. The thing about it. So basically, apart from the money involvement, everything, you can freeze people's assets. Basically, basically, I went bankrupt. The first all my assets, my money, everything. You can do that too. But you have to comply with the law because to justify it in the legal framework instead of things. But no one should die in the constitution. It's just a law thing. And basically, for the whole thing. Oh my computer. I think it's gone up. Oh no. Oh, okay. This is still recording, but it's recording kind of funny. Basically, for the whole human rights, basically you got the human rights layer on top of everything else. Basically, we got a constitution, my constitution, but we can have the other governance like the UN laws, human rights law. Basically, the United Nations kind of enforce laws. But they can enforce an act on it. But the Amnesty UK can only enforce laws, can only create new laws around the human rights. So basically, these are separation of concern as a principle. So basically, they can create the laws. I mentioned, but cannot enforce them. They cannot point to power like Article 51, self-defense laws. They say I can propose it, but I'm saying to you guys, you also have like a separation of concern in your law framework too for each one. The public law, law. And so you can have like a topology that's homogeneous, not heterogeneous. As primary concern. Homo before hetero. Okay, guys, I think my thing is done. I don't really see this working for me. Okay, guys, let me try to minimize this because like my screen just froze. It's kind of weird. We can. Yeah, if my computer's working and everything, it's just like I want to see. Okay, it's working. So let me just see me. It's just my laptop is funny. Okay, basically. So it's like alternative personal development in the homogeneous heterogeneous layers, via directed symbiotic evolution of the ecosystem. So basically, if this is a dispute, this is something sorted out, what do you guys do business, not do business for years, not my problem. But I'll come back to that video now. So basically, see this logo thing. See this one is called see this 7 upside down 7. That's like the so you go like here, it goes 7 7. That's the 7 7 mission. It's like it's called 7 7 because it's called like 7 neurodivergence beliefs. But you go like 7 7 7 7. Because the two sevens just remains like IK principles of 7. Like the IK means like oh, this is an F not 7. Basically, I tried to do an F. Basically, I put an F not 7. So let me try to do the 7 now. Oh, perfect. So this is my see this logo then. This is a 777. This is like a 57 7. This is like a 7th century abilities. Because I'm research and this is like a logo I made like an insignia for neurodivergent lawsuits. So basically, I can say to you I have seven senses. But you can act on my 7 senses. I can act on your 7 senses. I am seeing my stuff. I can act by myself. I'm autonomous, but this all applies to me, but you can act for me, there. That's the IK principles. Inverse kinematics to kinematics layers, bidirectional. And you got like the 7 7 7 7. So basically, this 7 7 is like the K to IK. But the other 7 7 or the FF is like the rotation. Basically, I can rotate the 7 7 or this way, and the same thing. So basically, the 7 7 7 7. Let's go to 7 7 squared. So 7 squared, 7 times 7 equals 14 century preservation. So 14 squared. So basically you have to add like a 14 logo here. And this will be a new aura for lawsuits. Because I can argue my discrimination rights and everything more in tune with this because I'm neurodivergent, ADHD, Asperger's disability, and right to act on my beliefs, So basically it got 7 cubed. No, 7 to the power of 4. Oh, that'll be like 7 times 7, which is 14. 14 times 7. 14 to the power squared. Let me try to calculate that. 14 squared is what? So 14 squared is whatever that logo means. So it's like a, but it's like separation of concern between my human rights and the what I want to do. So my right to act and my right to enforce without harming, committing harm. Same thing. But it's based on the foundation of neurodivergence. It's my subjective principle. 7 7. So you like me now? You like me now? Okay. Basically, separation layer, governance, arguing your framework. Quote, for what is yet to be, I became. I can now put this as a tagline for my business. If I want to anchor that to my tagline, but I want to add more of a trademark. So I can say it in quotes. You can basically, I can wear the merch everything as a logo. But if I don't want the tagline, I want you guys to have the full expression, of it in a formal definition. Basically, I can have this tagline there, and then if I go to quote, I say, for what is yet to be, I became. But I don't have to. I just say that out. I don't have to. It's a tagline. I can say it anytime I want. But it's like it's more. I get it right to say it. Because it's a tagline in court in legal proceedings. It's more formal as well because it's a tagline, and I did just that. So I can just say for what is yet to be, I became. And my other tagline, basically, I just say my sentence. My aura. You can have your aura sealed. Or your aura sealed for you. You don't want your aura sealed for you. That means that the system's not working for you. So you want to seal people's aura because the system works for you. So that's you gotta understand it basically. For what is yet to be, I became, and I did just that. Just put all the taglines in the sentence. In the structure, will taking you down as a policy. And what else? Basically, one more thing I did. Basically, the thing about the power system I have is like the power dynamics. Basically, say like someone's dying in the upside world, and you can feed them, give them food, or you can give water, and people don't ignore them because they're complicit in that suffering of people. Because it's not their children or anything. Basically, if they're the one causing the thing, like they'll come, they want to stop all the water from flowing and leave because it's not their children. They don't want to because it's too far away. They don't want to action it anymore because they just get bored and say, because they love enjoying people suffering. The suffering is just normal to them. So they try to normalize the suffering so people don't get ahead in the system. So that's what I'm saying to you, like a lower booming and because you're trying to normalize suffering. So for me, you're gonna understand suffering is not an option. One should suffer for any reasons in my constitution. Example, suffering nothing. Because if someone say I want to die, I don't want anybody saying to me, someone told me I should die, I want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want death. I never experienced death, or death in my life, so I want to die, guys. No one should tell me that nonsense. Go die, go sleep. Anybody tell me go sleep in my constitution, be out of the constitution the next day. Because I don't sleep to go to sleep and wake up or just do nothing like you guys. Basically, I want you guys all to be Gen Zs there. I don't want anybody there telling me to communication. Because I'm on my business, I'm on the constitution. It's out my constitution straight up. I'm banned. Because all the things, if I've never experienced those things, no one should try to put it in a tagline or unless they say they want to die and they have a reason of their death and died and come back to life, and they say, I died, something like that. All of things are in varying clauses, of the politicians, no one should coerce people to die. Basically, I saw this guy online. He first suicide himself, but he said, I don't suicide myself because I'm thinking about suicide. I said, why? He said he doesn't want to live. His job is boring. His life is boring. I said, but that's a good reason to die. It's not really fun. It just feels dull, empty inside. So he wants to die. Then he said to him, oh, we can do this. So basically, he says he's good at work tomorrow. He says he's good at work. Like he enjoys his work. So I said, okay, you enjoy your work. Don't want you to die. That's the only thing you enjoy. And I said, it's not really working for him. Then I said to the guy, okay, you won't die then. So I helped him do this online. I literally gave him Google Docs, went to his Google Docs, and showed him how to fill in an application, set up a template, so he doesn't have to do the template. And that was he was able to wake up the next day and do that work. I saw him the next morning on the online service. It was like a online banding cam. Wasn't banding cam. It was some online service he was authentic, he wanted to do something, but he didn't want to die, no more. He didn't tell me about death, He said, this is good, Namdi, I can get a template for the job application. And the job application will take me, because he just changed the Google Doc, because, it's not, he doesn't want to die, The guy doesn't want to die, He has one thing that kept him alive, And there should be no process in my constitution. There's a policy now. There should be no that people die for no reason. Because you guys killing each other, for no reason. Whether you live there and you work there, and kill other people, I don't really care. That's not in the constitution. Or that's my enemies or your enemies or anything. But anyone that's not in the constitution has a human rights. But human rights is covered by all the framework already in there. So basically, all the human rights laws are in there already. But they come first before basically there's a foundation of the human rights first. But it's not really a foundation. It's more of a topology foundation. Because and then you got my constitutional model. So basically, you have to have human rights even before in the constitution. The constitution is my utopia. Basically, if the human rights work, then you got the homogeneous model. So you got the human rights first, or then the constitution, and then you go the constitutional to human rights model, or you can get the laws of human rights, or you can get the third human rights first. So basically, you get the third human rights, and you get the third human rights constitutional model. So you get 60 human rights in total. In the constitution, which sounds like too much, but it's never too much to have human rights, because the human rights is not enough anyway, because people don't understand it to do it. You can either stand, don't enforce it, but it's basically you get 30 constitutional human rights because you're in the constitution, automatically. But if you're outside, because you get the half, you get what's already there, that's what I'm saying. Based on a functional framework, like the heterogeneous mapping of that state of information that's based on technical specification and the homogeneous layer, isomorphic uniform data, such as things that express neurotypical minds and processing. Okay, guys. Thank you, and I hope let me see what I have. Basically, if you go to court, you mean to basically the courts and the councils are there. The law but they're meant to be authentically expressing your intent. Statement expression layer, intent layer, for evaluating systems of bureaucracy and stuff like that. Things that shouldn't be in the constitution. New definition after persona and graceful persona status, etc. Or racial, nuclear halo, human. Is there anything I want to say, guys? You guys know. So, guys, take care. Please share this video. If you want, please share this video. I need you guys to try to share this video with your friends. Because you help my channel for proposal of the United Nations and Amnesty International via constitutional compliance, law and order and compliance. Order to compliance, and that results in a DAG, bipartisan DAG resolution over serious architectures. For computers to do it and humans to do it, and for any aliens to do it, understand that we can govern ourselves like human beings. We're not bureaucrats anymore. But I don't really care about aliens. I don't care about my business. I was an alien. So all the things that happen should go. No one should tell me that he wants to die, give him medication. No one should do that. I swear to God, if I see anybody do that, give them medication. Basically, I'm saying that if you guys want medication, you have to be taking medication to give medication. I don't know about medication. I have no constitution with medication. That's the policy in my constitution. But you guys want to, you guys have like a penicillin. You have like a penicillin and like antibiotics. those three things you can have it. You know, if it's a breakthrough or something, and it's a medical form. I'll create my own breakthrough, but it'll be in like a non-medical form. You know, like same thing, but it's like a different medium, different isotope, different layer of execution. Same thing, but different. I don't want anybody injecting needles in my body saying it's a breakthrough in 2025. You know, guys, that's what I'm talking about, guys. You know, that's what I'm talking about. I'm sure, because if you guys can govern yourself like Christus, I'm sure I'm sure I'm sure because you're human beings. You know, if you don't want it done to you, don't do it to someone else. Basically, you know, it's just common sense. It's just common sense. If you don't want it done to you, don't do it to someone else. Thank you. Because that's I want to force that's a policy. Because if you guys say a room is a house, go stay in this room. People in the dark. Room is house. Room is house. Stay in this room, and I come to your house. End of story. And you can the court will understand that. Thank you very much. Oh, it stopped. It stopped. It stopped. Okay, record. Oh, it's not stop. It's stop. No, guys. It's not stopping, Namdi. It's not stopping. I don't know. Control. So basically, Namdi, I don't really know what this is about. Why's my thing not stopping? Switch user. Sign out. Switch user.